Okay, this is September the 3rd, 2010, and this is our next update. I said the next update I'd do, the car would be tore apart. Well, first of all, we'll look at the car. As you can see, here's all the cooling tin, fan housing, intake, and all that kind of stacked up in the back here. So the engine's out, of course. We've taken a few body panels off of the body shop to look at, like the quarter panel, which I've been needing. So anyway, we'll just go ahead and close that. Whoa, somebody left their safety glasses there. Not a good place for them. And we'll one last pan at that. Of course, everybody's seen it the other day when we just pulled it out, but that's another look at it. Okay, we took the engine out. The engine was very difficult to disassemble. It had been together, for so long that the heads were seized to the cylinders, or as we call them around here on Sand Mountain, jugs. But this is the cylinder that gave me so much trouble. This was number 3 cylinder, and as you can see, we had to beat it up pretty bad. It was seized up on the head, was right there, and as well in the case in this part too. Here is the head that was seized the worst on. This was on the left side of the vehicle. I think it's going to be okay. We've tried to clean it up a little bit. Let me get back so I can focus better. But I can't really see any damage other than just being totally filthy. And of course it's going to have to be reworked and all. But other than that, the heads look pretty good. I think they're salvageable. This one wasn't stuck on as bad. It was on the right side of the vehicle. The thermostat was missing in this thing. It had no thermostat. They just had this rod right here kind of stuck in the fins and holding the flaps open on the fan housing. For those of you who are familiar with this kind of engine, know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so now we move on to the culprit of what locked this engine up. And by the way, this was the piston in this cylinder right here we beat up so bad. As you can see, all the rings were just totally stuck and collapsed to the piston. They was probably, I know this table looks filthy, this floor looks filthy right now, but trust me, it was dirtier than this a while ago. There was so much garbage and trash and debris inside this engine from sitting in the woods for all this amount of time. Okay, here's the culprit that locked the engine up. It threw a rod. This is what's sort of left of the rod cap and part of the rod, as you can see right here. Notice how it has stretched this whole rod cap. And of course that's the rest of the rod. It's seized up in that cylinder there. We just took everything out together. My biggest concern right now is the case. This is the damage it done to the case. As you can see, there's a little bit of a chip right there. Now whether or not that's going to be bad enough to trash the case out, or if we can just simply sand that down smooth where the cylinder can bolt up in. Nicked it a little bit right there. And they're similar to, I haven't cleaned this side of the case yet, so it's still pretty filthy. But it's a little bit, let's see, if I can line my finger up where you can see. Bumped it a little bit right there. If I can get, there we go. Bumped it a little bit right there. And I don't know, it's been so long since I've built these engines. I haven't even touched one in about 12 or 13 years, and I've only done about 4 or 5 of these. I don't remember what the numbers on this thing means. If somebody, and I can't get the camera to focus, let me see if I can get out of this glare to where it can pick these numbers up, and I can't get it to stop the glare. That's not good. My camera is farsighted. Well, anyway, I'll just have to read the numbers. This one, the number, if you could see it, it would say BC 233, and then over here you got standard, GP standard, and there's one more number. looks like, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like M74. I know you can't see it on the camera because I guess I need a better camera to do this kind of stuff with. Anyway, so I'm a little confused. I originally thought this engine had been built before. I'm sorry, it had not been built before, because the car was only in service for about 8 years. Then in 1980, it threw a rod, and that's why it's been parked all these years. So I'd kind of assumed that this was the original engine untouched since it left the factory. But one thing it makes me wonder is it's got flat top pistons in it, and I've been told on the 72 model they should have dish pistons in them. But this has definitely got flat top pistons in it. So I'm wondering about that. There was something else that made me kind of wonder whether or not this was the original or not. Oh yeah, the thermostat missing. Somebody went to the trouble to take the thermostat out of this thing. Of course, I know somebody could have just possibly done that when it was monkeying around with something else. But anyway, we're going to have to get a thermostat for it, because I don't care what kind of engine you run, you need to run a thermostat, because the thermostat helps that engine get up as quick as possible to operating temperature. And the quicker you can get an engine up to operating temperature, the longer it'll last. Because when it's not in that operating temperature, it's not going to, the lubrication and everything's not going to be right, and it's going to have more wear on it. People with air-cooled Volkswagen seem to insist that to take the thermostat out of these things, and it's just not a good practice to do. So anyway, we'll have to find a thermostat for it when we go back together with it. That's about it. Some of you guys that are watching this, I know more about this than I do. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to line bore this case and get another crank for it, because I'm guessing this crank is toast after it threw the rod. Let's see, here's the journal. It was number 1 cylinder that threw the rod on. There's the... as you can see, it's pretty rough looking. But anyway, so and I'm thinking about just going ahead and putting a new cam instead of lifters in it. I don't really see much wrong with this one yet. Of course, I haven't cleaned it up good yet. But the fact that it got beat by that rod, I'd really, it may be okay. But I'm thinking I might just be better off to put a new cam instead of lifters in it while I got it all apart and everything, because I really want to build this thing where I don't have to worry about the rest of my life. I hope. It's just going to be a little car for me to play around with and cruise around my family on nice sunny weekends and stuff like that. And she'll be sitting in the garage a lot of the time. But anyway. That's about it. I know I've probably, those of y'all who are not interested in stuff, I've probably bored you to tears, but if you're not interested in stuff, why are you watching my video anyway? Okay, one more good shot at that rod. Look how it's just flattened it out. I mean, I'll tell you, they really done a number on it there. Okay, I'll try to give an update here sometime or another. Y'all take care.